Hello, friends. Welcome to Between the Skeins, where color meets conversation. My name is Meg, and I am a yarn dyer behind the company Megs Co. And I'm so glad that you are here. I am outside in my little snow dome. I have filmed a few episodes when I was doing Vlogmas, and I really haven't been able to get out here to be able to film too much ever since. But today is a gorgeous day, and I just couldn't resist coming out here and filming. The sun is setting, and so of course it was not beaming me in the face when I set up the camera, but it's going to disappear over the trees in just a minute. So we're just going to deal with it for just a couple minutes. But it was just so beautiful. I just have to be out here. It is February and I live in Western New York. And when we get a gift of a day like this, we cannot spend it inside. So I'm not going to apologize for the outdoor sounds, the traffic that you might hear, um, because I need to be outside. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So today is just going to be a little bit of a check-in on where we are with our projects and our progress so far. So back in January, I had set the big lofty goal of staying committed to finish all of my existing languishing whips and to curtail my starting of projects until I had finished projects, just because I was finding that I was just being a little bit start happy and I was just kind of overwhelming myself a little bit. And I really wanted to start actually having some of the finished objects. I just had so many projects going and I wasn't actually getting to enjoy any of these objects, any of the finished garments and accessories. And so I just kind of did a check-in and really just needed to remind myself that like this is a slow craft and I just needed to just step back a little bit, take a breath. I don't need to do every single project. I really just need to enjoy them one at a time, or at least three at a time, not 30 at a time. So, with that, I have been kind of making sure that I'm staying kind of super focused and diligent on just 1 to 3 projects at a time and not really working on much more than that. And so I've been kind of categorizing those projects as like kind of one larger project that I primarily work on at home. So usually those are like larger shawls, more complicated projects, sweaters, that kind of a thing. And then I call them my small snacky projects, things that are just like super easy, mindless, brainless. But usually they are actually small projects that are just very easy to bring on the go. So things like hats, mittens, socks, or if it's just a project that just has a little bit to go, like maybe just, the hem of a sweater. So it is just easy to bring on the go because it's not just like a whole bunch of color work or something. And then sometimes, you just kind of need that third project because maybe one of your projects is just kind of in a weird place and it's just not convenient to work on it. But my third project has kind of primarily been spinning. I feel like I don't talk about spinning too much on this channel, and so I did bring some spinning to share with you guys today, including a huge finish. So, that I'm super excited about. So usually my third project is a spinning project. Anyway, so I do have a bunch of finished objects to share. Yay! So let's get right into it because this first one is a big one, and you guys, it is my doodle. It is done. I'm so excited. This is the Winter Doodle Sweater by Jamie Lomax, also known as Pacific Knit Co. I am so excited to finally have this sweater. I've already worn it. It is so warm. It is so cozy. I'm going to put it on as soon as I'm done, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit first. It, doing the doodle parts of it was so much fun. Um, the parts that just kind of got a little bit monotonous for me was just doing this dot motif on the sleeves. It just got so long, and it just got really repetitive, just really monotonous, and it just got to be a little bit hard for me to stay focused and keep at it. But it came out so beautiful. I have no regrets. It's one of those things where maybe the process was a little bit difficult. It wasn't difficult, um, you know, it wasn't hard to do. It was difficult for me to just stay motivated and focused. But the finished object is just absolutely stunning and just made it so much more worth it. And now that I see it, I am just like, it's so worth it. I love it. So I did all of this using Stash. I feel like the doodle projects are such a great stash buster. Um, it's just such a great way to kind of go through your collection and pull together colors that you like and to really make a great story. And so that's what I did here. So with the winter doodle pack comes with just some really fun little motifs that you can put together. And the story that I wanted to put together was of a mountain cabin kind of theme here. So I have a lot of mountains, I've got trees, I have 11 cups of cocoa, I've got snowflakes, and then, of course, the dots. And then I've got some kind of inverse mountains down here. It's all Stash. The main color, I guess, is technically not Stash, but the main color is my organic merino sport, held together with a little bit of, not a little bit, with held together with one strand of a yak silk. Um, it's like a yak Surrey silk. It's like a fuzzy yarn, which has a natural gray color. And I held it with my undyed organic merino sport, and it just made this beautiful kind of oatmeal color. That yak silk, it's gray, but it's a very warm gray, almost like a rosy gray. So it just made such a beautiful color. That's definitely something that I want to explore again, as a base color for a sweater, because it's just very interesting, really beautiful. I just love how tonal it looks, that base color. And these are just two undyed colors, and it just has so much tonality, just that natural color of the fibers. And it's just so beautiful. So all the other colors are just ones that I had in my stash from various dyers. Some of them were gifts. Um, yeah, and I just love the way it came out. So let's see what the floats look like, because we got some craziness going on the inside. And I will say I have not finished sewing all this in. Um, I started, and there's so many and I have worn it too. Um, yeah, so here is the float side. Look at those floats. Love a good, neat, and tidy float section, right? So you can see lots and lots of ends. The inside is mostly woven in. I just haven't clipped everything yet. This has been blocked. Usually I weave everything in before I block it, but I was super eager to wear it, so I just went and blocked it. So after I weave everything in, I'll probably block it again. But one of the things I did, I started weaving in everything. So you can see on the sleeves, there's just so many ends. So one of the things I did, especially because I wanted to wear this to an event and I just didn't want to weave in all the ends, I took all the ends and I just did like a French braid. And I was nervous at being on the sleeve that it was just going to add a bit of bulk. So it ends up being kind of along the back side of the arm, like where a seam would normally be. And I was really nervous it was going to add a little bit of bulk or feel weird inside my arm. But I wore it for a whole day. I actually wore it to my fiber festival that I vended at, and I didn't notice it at all. So you can see I just tied it off and I didn't cut it because I was nervous, just how it would feel or if it would be bulky. So just in case, like, I did want to undo it and actually weave the ends in right, but I didn't notice it. And so I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Is that crazy? Like, is that really lazy of me? Of course it is, but like, it's my sweater. Who cares? But it actually looks super neat. They're all secured, all tidy. So I haven't done that to the other side yet because I really wanted to wear it. I wanted to see how it would feel because I was nervous about it, just feeling weird on my arm, but I never noticed it at all. So I just wanted to share that because that was like kind of something different that I did. I have seen that before in the body of a sweater of, sweaters with lots of color work of just braiding like down the side of a sweater when there's lots and lots and lots of ends. But I've never seen that on a sleeve before, so I just wasn't sure. But no issues, no problem. So I am going to wear it just because I am in my bubble and it is a little chilly. Ooh, so it fits so wonderfully. I would say the only thing that um that I would like modify, like if I were to do it again. And I definitely want to make another one of these. I definitely want to do like another season. I already have some other motifs picked out, but the fit is like so perfect. So I definitely would do one like at the same gauge. All of the color work is DK. And essentially the whole thing is DK because I used a sport weight held with a lace weight for the main color. So everything is DK. So I would definitely do it at the same gauge, the same measurements. I forget what size I made, but it was the recommended one for my size. I didn't like go up or down a size. The only thing I would do differently is I don't know why I stopped when I did, but it is a little short for me. And I thought I had tried it on. Like I remember trying it on before I like started the bottom ribbing hem and bound off, but and I know that I did want it a little cropped, but for me it's just a little too cropped. Like I don't think I needed that much more, but I think I just want it to be like that much longer. And I don't know if I just thought it would grow. Um, but yeah, for my main color, I used a non-superwash yarn held with a non-superwash yak. So no, it's not going to grow, or it shouldn't at least, not very much. Um, yeah, so it's just a little short. I think just for kind of what I wanted for that cabin sweater. It's very on trend, I guess, very like what the fashion is now, but I kind of wanted that a little bit more cabiny, I don't know, longer, to wear with like, your more relaxed jeans, but I love it and it's already gotten lots of wear. It's so warm. I put it on and um so it's not warm outside. It's in the 30s, but I do have a heater in here. The sun has heated up the bubble, and just having this on, I'm almost too warm. It's so warm. So I'm so excited to have this. So second finished object, I finished a pair of fingerless mitts. These are super cute. So this was my big finish, and this was my snacky project finish. So this was a pair of fingerless mittens that I made for my husband at his request. This is actually in a test yarn. So this was in a yarn that I was testing out. I really love the yarn. So it is always a potential option to bring into the shop. I was testing out a US yarn as a potential to swap out for my soft sock yarn. So it is a US merino wool nylon blend. So similar to my soft sock, that is a merino wool nylon blend, superwash. Just the difference being is that it's all US sourced. So US sourced merino wool and it's US spun. It's super soft. I really love the way that it knit. So very happy with it. And it's dyed in my Autumn in New York colorway. So really nothing special about these. They're just kind of something that, there's no pattern here. They're just something that I had put together myself. So just kind of your basic fingerless mitten here. That's really it. So it's just a 2x2 rib, and I knit these just like I would knit a pair of socks. So I did these on US, I believe 1.5. It's either a US 1 or a 1.5. I usually do a US 1.5 just because I am a little bit of a tight knitter. Um, and I literally do these just how I would do socks. So I usually cast on 64 stitches for a sock. And so it's just like I was gonna just do the ribbing of a sock, except that I don't stop. And then I do increases for a gusset. And then once I have, I think I had 20 stitches for the thumb, I put those on some stitch holders and then just continue and then come back to do my thumb. And that's literally it. So it's just a tube with a thumb, and I like to make the wrist long, just that way it's, if it's like raining or there's snow, you don't get it all, down into your jacket or whatnot, and then you can fold it up, stay nice and warm. Anyway, so that's that. He's already worn them a bunch. You can see he's stretched that top out nice, nice for his hand. So I'm glad that they're already getting lots of wear. And so they're just super easy to make too, and it's a great project. Again, if you just have kind of one skein of yarn. I had quite a bit left over, so you really don't even need a full skein of yarn. It's, you got 60 grams or so hanging out. It's a great project, and you don't have to make them as long. I think definitely if you have even like 40 grams, 50 grams of fingering weight yarn, if you just wanted to make like a small mitten, it's a great way to, kind of use up some scraps, and it makes a really great gift too, because it's just, everyone, if you live in a colder climate like I do, it's something that everyone needs. So it's a great gift. So let's get into the whips. So I was really hoping that this would actually be a finished object, and that's a little bit why I feel like this video was super delayed. I wasn't planning on filming this as late in February as it's been, but I kept hoping that I would have this finished, but I'm almost there. I'm almost there. So this is my rainbow bouquet shawl. This is the shawl that, if you watched any of my Vlogmas, this is the shawl that I was working on in December during Vlogmas. Look at how I don't think I can get it's so big. Oh, it's just such a spectacular shawl. It's definitely a showstopper. So this is by Telly Bean Knits. So you start at one end, it starts super small, and you just keep increasing until you get to the middle. So it is a triangle, and then you just start decreasing. So I am so close to being done. I am on color 22 of 24. So I'm using 24 different mini skeins. So it is 24 colors to the center point, and then you repeat each color once to the end. So I just have to do, so that was color 22, which I think is done. Yep, 22 is done. So I just have 2 colors left. I just have 23 and 24. And then I can bind off. So it doesn't come to like a pointy point, So yeah, so basically I just have this and this, and I'm done. I'm so close. So I bet after I turn this camera off and have a little sit time in the bubble, I might be able to finish this shawl. So I guess in the next video, you'll be able to see this, and hopefully then it'll be all blocked as well, because I keep saying this is going to transform like a butterfly once it is blocked. Just pulling on it like a little bit, and you can kind of see that lace opening up. Oh my goodness. It's just going to be stunning because I can just see, I mean, it's huge as it is unblocked, but as soon as I get this on all pinned out because it's just all this lace. Oh my gosh, all that lace is gonna open up and it's just gonna be stunning. Oh my gosh, the sun moved again. So yeah, so this is all done using mini skeins from Spun Right Round. So this was a mini skein set that was part of the 2024 Spun Right Round holiday countdown. So I had actually had I had opened it in 2024, but I never ended up using it. It just went into my stash. So I had selected this project, ordered them all out like in the order that I wanted them to go into the shawl, and then rebagged them in the order. And then that way I could kind of re-enjoy the Advent in this past Christmas. And then opened them. And each day in December, I was pretty good about keeping up with. I was trying to knit a color a day, and it just got really hard once you started to get towards the middle. It's easy in the beginning because the first little bits are 20 minutes. But as soon as you start getting here, it starts taking an hour, 2 hours, especially the middle. I mean, that was like 3, 4 hours just to do one color. So that's when I started to fall behind. But just the fact that I did start this December 1st, and if I am going to finish this by the end of February, because it is still February, I think that a giant shawl done in 3 months, that's pretty good. That's especially for me. So, so I'm really excited for that. And hopefully I will be able to share that as a finished object for March. So I have a new project to share with you, and I'm really excited about this. So I have a brand new yarn that I am testing out. So this kind of started as like a little bit of a random project. So I am attending an event in April, and this project has just completely morphed out of control. So this started as I wanted something to make a shawl or a poncho, and somehow it has morphed into a skirt. So I don't even know like where to start with this. But I wanted yarn that was kind of like mermaid themed was the yarn that I was looking for. And one of the yarn distributors that I get yarn from had literally just sent an email out that they were releasing a brand new yarn that was literally called Mermaid. That was an alpaca silk that had rainbow stellina in it. So I don't know if you can see that this is like rainbowy. Like it's got the sparkle in it, but it's not just like a regular like silver sparkle or gold sparkle. It's like multicolored. Like it's kind of greenish. So pretty. But other than that, it's just kind of like a normal like Surrey alpaca yarn. Super soft. It is lace weight. And so I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the yarn. I absolutely love it. So I ordered it and dyed up a whole bag of it. A bag is 10 skeins in different mermaid kind of inspired colors. So I did this like kind of seafoam green color. This is like, I don't know, like a cloud blue. It's a little cotton candy, but and then this one it's very similar to that cloud blue, but maybe going a little bit more into like unicorn. It's got more purple in it. But I wanted to keep it very like of the sea. So keeping it more blue. And then I do have some other ones eventually that I will incorporate into this skirt. So how did we go from a shawl or a poncho, because I was going to wear a dress that I had picked out? How did we go from that to a skirt? So while I was waiting for all of this yarn to dry, I was on Instagram and I came upon this post that a person that I wasn't even following originally, it was just like a recommended for you. And thank goodness, again, it just was like meant to be. They were posting about this skirt and it was called the Paris skirt. And it's meant to be, the intention was to use up all different scraps of like mohair, but it's just this beautiful, long, ethereal skirt. And it's just a long, swirly, twirly, flowy skirt, floor length skirt. And it's to use two strands of mohair or alpaca or any kind of fuzzy yarn, two strands held double. And the designer was just using up scraps because otherwise it will end up being a very pricey skirt because um it's probably about 500, if not more, grams of fuzzy yarns. So that's a lot. That's a lot of skeins. But if it is like your scraps and your leftovers, it's manageable. But I wanted to use my sparkle yarn. So I started this. I started it about 3 weeks ago, and I've been trying to work steadily on it. A little bit each day. Like I try to do like an inch each day because this event is in April. So I'm trying to, just kind of stay on it, do a little bit each day. You're doing this on pretty big needles. So this is on a US 13 9mm needle. So, it do get each round you do get, quite a little big bang for your buck kind of a thing. But it's definitely slow at the same time because it is just like so wide. I kind of want to put it on a larger circle just to kind of show how incredibly wide it is. So you start with just regular fingering weight yarn, like non-fuzzy to create like a waistband and get like a little bit started, just for some structure. I did put an elastic waistband in it, just so that I could start trying it on it soon. And to kind of see how it would look all snugged. Um, and I'm doing this as a fade. So I have already started that first color and I've started to fade in the second color. So I'm well on my way on the second color. And I want to make this as long as I possibly can. So that is my Paris skirt. It's going to be taking me forever, but I'm totally okay with it. Super excited for it. It it's gonna be like wearing a cloud. And I'm so excited for it. I really am. So that is all of my knitting projects. That's it. See, I am so focused these days. So now that I have finished my small mittens, that was like my small snacky project. So I do need to go through my whip pile and grab my next small snacky project. I do know of a pair of socks because um, I did, you will probably have seen the video, but in the timeline of this, I have filmed the video of me diving through my entire whip pile, but I haven't edited it yet. So I know that I had found a pair of unfinished socks. So that's going to go in my bag, and hopefully that'll be my next small project whip. Now that I'm no longer working on those fingerless mittens. So that's it for my knitting. But I do have a big spinning finished project to share. Shall we get into it? So I do have a spinning project that is a big finish. So part of my year of let's get our projects to the goal line um, does include my spinning projects because I also have this bad habit of getting super excited about new fiber that I've purchased and I kind of start spinning it and I'll fill up one bobbin but then like won't start, I'll start something new instead of like, so then I have all these like half bumps. Or this one is kind of a little bit different. It's super different, but or like I'll kind of start a sweater spin and you know, just I just need to stay a little bit more focused with just everything in my life. But this is a little bit different. This was a subscription. So I had subscribed last year to the La Mercier. I believe that they're like a yarn store that's out west. They do a subscription that's called a year of fiber. So where once a month they send you a braid of fiber that's from a different dyer. So every single month you get something different. So you don't know like what blend it's going to be. You don't know what dyer it's going to be. So it's super fun. And I feel like it's such a great way um, to try new things. It kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone a little bit because it forces you to try colors that you wouldn't have normally picked. It forces you to try fibers you wouldn't have normally picked. Um, and it introduces you to a lot of new things. But what for me, what was happening is I was just accumulating and I wasn't spinning it. And so, especially in the summer, I don't think I had spun any of it until about the summer. And so in the summer and the fall, I is when I had started spinning it. So I wanted to just get it done. And I ended up not resubscribing just kind of for that same reason, because I just felt like I was just accumulating without actually spinning it. But I have since finished spinning the entire year of fiber. So I wanted to share that with you. Um, so here is January. So this was by Yarn Jam. So this was a Shanico wool. So this is the same wool that is my Ghost Town yarn. So this was really fun. This was like a super like bright orange and teal. Really enjoyed spinning this. Actually, what was like really cool about this is I could see how much my spinning improved across these 12 skeins. And I didn't spin them in order. I grabbed them so randomly. February. This is from 40 Winks Fibers. This is a Shanico silk blend. Really pretty. I think this is one of the ones that surprised me. This is from Hidden Pond Yarns. So this is a super wash merino nylon blend, and I didn't think that I would enjoy spinning this just because of it being super wash and merino. I thought it was going to be too slippery, but I actually kind of liked spinning it. But now I just don't know like what to make with it because I just feel like I don't want to make socks with hand spun yarn because it's like too precious, if that makes sense. But the color is beautiful. It drafted really well. I mean, you definitely had to pay attention because it was slippery, but it drafted so well. I really enjoyed it. So that one was one of the ones that kind of surprised me. I had waited till actually that was the very last one that I had spun because I was like, I want to spin something with nylon in it. Um, and I actually really enjoyed spinning that one. So that was a surprise for me. This one is April. It's a Corriedale, 100% Corriedale from 316 Dye Studio. I remember really liking this one as well. Corriedale is always a great fiber to spin. It just Corriedale just never fails. It's just it drafts really well, springy, it's bouncy. Um, just always get great results. It's definitely a very toothy yarn. I feel like this would be a great yarn for a hat, like something like very sturdy for sure. Here we've got May. This is a 100% American Rambouillet. Um, so actually, this was the first one that something kind of surprising with this one. I don't know if it's just the American Rambouillet, but I always thought that I liked spinning Rambouillet, but there's a couple of Ramboulets in here. And when I would go from spinning a Rambouillet and then I would spin something else and then a Rambouillet, I quickly began to realize that I don't think I actually like spinning Rambouillet. So this is one of the ones, and this is nothing against Little Fiber Co. at all. So please, please no. This is just, this is the fiber because this is dyed so immaculately. The color is absolutely gorgeous. So this is just the actual like Rambouillet the fiber. Um, yeah, so I was just having a lot of problems drafting it, and I feel like you can see there's just a lot of like thick and thin sections. So comparing it to like the Corriedale, it's just, I was just able to just get very consistent drafting. It was just nice. And then you go to this, and it just felt like it was just not drafting well. It was just very kind of clumpy, thick and thin, and um, and sometimes you are like, well, maybe it was just the braid or whatever. But then it was like every time I picked up another braid of Rambouillet, it just kept happening. So that's why I say it's not the dyer. I just think I really don't like to spin Rambouillet. And if there's any spinners watching, I would love to know what your opinion is on this because before I went into this year of fiber, I would have told you that Rambouillet was my second favorite fiber to spin next to BFL. And it is now my least favorite. And I actually have quite a bit of Rambouillet fiber in my stash, including an entire special order from Little Fiber because they're an amazing dyer and the color is stunning and it's all Rambouillet. So there's that. Okay, so let's continue onward. So then we have June. So this is a British Blueface Leicester. Loved this. So before I went into this spinning project, BFL was my favorite to spin. I feel like it's my favorite to knit, favorite to spin. I just love BFL. I really need to dye more of it for the shop. It's um it really is like my favorite. And I feel like it's one of those things where, I've let the customers bully me out of dyeing it because it just doesn't sell all that well, but it's my favorite. And so, you know what, guys? Start knitting with it. Um, yeah, so I think I need to bring it back into the shop. It's so good. And anyway, so this is from Storyteller Stitchery. This is probably one of my top favorite ones from both the fiber and the color. Like there is just so much going on from a color perspective, but at the same time, it is so beautiful and blended. There's nothing muddy about it. Like 10 out of 10 on that dye job. Like it's so beautiful. It drafted so well. Stunning. Oh my gosh, this was another one of my favorite ones. This is July. This is one of the ones that surprised me. This is Australian Merino, but it is a high micron Australian Merino. So high micron meaning it is quite toothy. So it actually feels very similar to the BFL because it's just a bit toothier. So it is a 23 micron. Um, and I absolutely loved the way it spun. So this is from Red Door Fiber. It's called Femininomenon. Again, love the color. One of my favorite colors. And I loved spinning this one. Um, and it surprised me because sometimes I don't really love spinning merino just because it has it's just a shorter staple length. It's just a little bit slippery. But I think because this one had just the higher micron count, a little bit toothier, and it just, I don't know, I really enjoyed spinning this one. So super surprised. And so these are the ones too that I don't think I would have ever bought this ever, just based on the fact that it was like in that braid, it was kind of like a toothy merino. I think I would have picked it up and put it right back. And this was one of my absolute favorite spins of this whole package. So that's why doing some of these subscriptions I think are just so fun because they surprise you. Because I would have bought this Rambouillet, and I hated it. And I wouldn't have bought this, and it's my favorite. And I'm not talking about the dyers. I'm specifically talking about the fiber here. Let's keep that straight because I just want to make sure here. I'm not business bashing by any means. I'm strictly talking about fiber content. Okay, so we've got August. This one is by oh, trying to read the back. This is by Big Little Yarn Co. And this one is Merino Alpaca Blend. Um, yeah, I did like this one too. It was just different. I don't think I've ever spun alpaca before this. I kind of don't remember what this one was like to spin, to be quite honest. I guess I don't remember it being like an issue, but um, it came out really nice. I love, like, look at this halo. It looks really good. Like, I don't see any, like crazy thick or thin sections. It feels really soft. So this would actually make for, I think, a really great pair of fingerless mittens because it would just be like super soft on your hands. Ooh, okay. This one's another 23 micron merino. And I do remember actually really loving spinning this one as well. This is from Bella Filato Studios. This one is October. And I remember actually being really surprised with this color. So this one is a color that I remember, I think I actually talked about this during Vlogmas because I think I was spinning this one in Vlogmas. This one was one where the color is just so unique. It's like it's got a lot going on in there, even though it's like looks really neutral. This is one where I never would have picked up this color. Like it just looked kind of, I don't know. It just isn't like bright and, it doesn't really catch your eye kind of a thing. But once it's like once I did spin it and I'm seeing it, it's so pretty, but it's also just so functional and wearable that I'm so glad that I have it now. So this is one too where I'm glad that I'm glad that I have it because it's one I'm glad that I was forced to get it because I never would have picked it up otherwise. So this one's September. This is from Witch Fire Fibers. This is a heathered merino. Really pretty. I really love the way that this one looked. It was just really pretty. This one it's like, you can definitely tell it's got kind of like a grayish natural undertone to it. I do remember it being a little bit slippery to spin. You can see I had, there are some thick and thin sections in here. So, you know, it didn't draft as easily. Ooh, okay. This one I loved. So this is December. So this is Corriedale. This is from Bramble Ridge. And this Corriedale, I want to say, look at how beautiful this is, first of all. Look at this dye job. So spinning Corriedale was so nice. Um, it was definitely like a little trickier. You could see I definitely had like, you know, gotta work on my technique a little bit there. But so when I was done with Corriedale, Corriedale might be, this is my only Corriedale that I've ever spun. Or not Corriedale, I'm sorry, Cormo. Cormo. After I had finished spinning this Cormo, um, I loved spinning this so much, just the way it felt on my hands, the way it drafted. Um, I loved it so much that I like literally immediately was like, I want to buy more Cormo. I want to spin more Cormo. I actually think I liked spinning Cormo more than I like spinning BFL, but I've only spun this one skein. So I feel like to just put this at the top based on one skein is a little much. So I don't know. So this is the other Rambouillet that I had spun. So this is the November. It's from Hello Lavender. It's really pretty. But this is the other one that kind of, I feel like this kind of seals it for the Rambouillet for me. Um, that, yeah, it just, again, you can see like, I just had such issue with the drafting and I just, I just felt like I was fighting it. And, um, I don't know, it just kind of seemed like, I was like, are all my spinning issues because I'm just spinning Rambouillet? And I'm kind of thinking that is it. Like that is my problem. It's Rambouillet is the problem. I'm not the problem. It's Rambouillet. I'm not sure where we were because my camera just died. So quick battery change. But I think that we were talking about Rambouillet. So yeah, so this was the second skein of Rambouillet. And again, I was just having just issues. It just wasn't drafting and um just especially after I can say where was that first one? Yeah, so this was that first one and I was really excited to spin this because for one, I love Little Fiber Co. And I thought I had loved Rambouillet and I just remember, just mm, you know, kind of actually thought I had loved the spin because this is how I just normally spin. And then I had started kind of going through everything and just what a difference like other fibers, like wow. And then I went back to Rambouillet and I was like, huh, maybe there's something with Rambouillet. And I feel like I've confirmed that because there's another project that I am working on where I actually made a whole bunch of faux lags because I want to spin in a gradient. And that is with some Rambouillet by a third dyer. And I'm also having the kind of same weird drafting, lumpy crap. All that to say, I just feel like I just don't get along well with Rambouillet. So I'd really love to know from the spinners out there, what are your thoughts on Rambouillet? Is it me, or do we just not get along? Do you have issues with Rambouillet? Because I would have thought just based on like reading, when I Google Rambouillet, it always seems like I know that it is a fine wool. Um, but it just seems like if I'm not having those same issues when I spin merino wool, I guess I'm finding it kind of weird that like I'm having such a difficult time with the Rambouillet. So I'm just super curious. What are your thoughts on this fiber? Because yeah, we're just not vibing. We're just not vibing. But I am vibing with other wolves. And I guess that is why I guess I'm just especially surprised with going back to the super fine merino nylon blend because this was a 22 micron merino, so a nice fine soft merino with nylon, and I had no issues with this. I mean, just drafted itself. So anyway, so this whole project is now done. And I just had like a little mini skein of some leftovers. Super cute. So yeah, so this whole project is done. The whole year is fun. And so now what do I do with all this? And this was actually another reason. So the first reason why I didn't subscribe for this year is because when the call for this year's subscription came out, I think it was like October, November or so. And by that point, obviously I still hadn't received all of the year, but I hadn't even spun um, half of what I had received. And so I was like, nope, I can't just subscribe to another year when I haven't even spun half of what I have received because I just can't keep hoarding. Um, when I have so much stash um above and beyond this. And I loved this project. Like I said, I loved that it, kind of forces you out of your comfort zone a little bit, forces you to kind of try color combinations and fibers that you wouldn't normally try. But, I need to make sure that I'm keeping up with it. And the other thing is that now I have this whole bag of like random skeins of yarn that they're all different colors, they're all different fibers. A couple things can go together, but for the most part, it's, even like the kind of like-ish fibers are different colors. I don't know. So I don't know now what to do with most of this. Like it's going to be a lot of finding one and two skein projects. And so now it's a lot of projects. Like it's going to be a lot of hats, a lot of mittens, a lot of cowls, that kind of a thing. Um, or giving away. So yeah, so I feel like I'm again, I don't want to just like accumulate for the sake of accumulating. So I want to, would I subscribe to another year? Potentially, but I really need to kind of stash down this um, before I would do that again. So, all in all, I was very pleased by my year of fiber. I very much enjoyed spinning all of this. I learned a lot about myself as a spinner. I learned a lot about all these different fibers. I surprised myself with the fibers that I loved. I very much surprised myself with the fibers that I didn't like. And yeah, and so now, like I said, now I have to figure out what the heck am I going to do with this big old bag of 12 skeins of hand spun yarn. Anyway, so that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching Between the Skeins. My name is Meg, and I hope that you come back for another episode. Please like and subscribe. Do all the things. You can find me on Instagram at Megs_yarn. And if you want to keep the conversation going, you can join my Discord chat. There's links to all the things in the show notes below. And until next time, happy crafting, happy spinning, happy knitting, happy crocheting, all of the things.